Jonas, starting us off. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Marvel Live. It's good to see you. It's been a little while since it's been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been a really long time since I've got to hang out with you. Since I did blow up the hosting responsibilities last time, so I do apologize in advance for everybody who has been patiently waiting. Very, 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 very patiently waiting. We had some people asking in the chat in the pre-stream while we were getting set on the last episode of Marvel Live. It was an important episode. We talked a little bit about the curly circuit, what it's supposed to do, what we kind of expect from it, what we still need to fine-tune from. We'll have some more updates on that as well later in the program. We do have RYANLV on deck tonight. Oh, and we will try to get that episode uploaded tonight. So again, apologies for that. And also apologize to General Reaction. I was a big meanie to him over the weekend. And good to see you in the chat. Thanks for coming by and supporting, man. I hope you can forgive me for being a meanie. But, and yeah, so we hopefully will have that episode all patched together. We got to Frankenstein it. We'll get it online. I know some of you people are looking about those curly circuit specifics. But in general, thanks for coming back. And we do have such an amazing episode tonight. We feel like we have wanted RYANLV for so long. I mean, we've talked about Ryan for every episode, I'm sure, at least this season. You guys have asked for him. You're always tweeting us about him. He's a silent guy. He's not really saying a lot of tournaments. I know you want to hear from him, get the full scope on him. We do have him on deck tonight. But first, I want to start with our recurring cast members because, we got a stacked team for tonight. And I want to start with Jonas, who is the man. If you've been loving those Twitter GIFs, if you've been loving the Marvel Live Twitter activity lately, it's not me. It's not me, guys. Jonas, welcome to the program tonight. It's good to see you, dude.
Yo, what's up?
Thank you for holding it down, man, and you get us all the retweets, dude. So thanks for coming on tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Potato Salad, Marcus, good to see you, man. You were very active for final round this year, very hands-on. Thanks for coming on tonight. I can't wait to hear what you got to say.
Obviously. What's up, everybody? What's up?
What's up? I'm looking good tonight. I don't know if this is my new Chris Minnesota internet or what, but I'm liking it. Looking good. Kyle, Merkel, welcome back, man. It's good to see you.
What's going on, everyone? Good to be here.
By the way, if anybody's having some sound issues, if you can't, if the volume's not good enough, if it's too loud, it's too quiet, just let me know, and I can adjust it on the fly now, which is really great. So don't be afraid to be honest. And our last recurring cast member for the evening, Seif, good to see you, dude. Thanks for coming on tonight. Posted, chilling. Good to see you, man. I know you've got a lot of great questions for Ryan, and I've been sitting on a bunch. This is gonna be like a really killer episode, guys. So let's get to it. Let's not dance around it anymore. I want to bring a formal introduction to Mr. RYANLV from Las Vegas. How you doing, dude? Thanks for coming on tonight.
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You look good, man.
Thank you.
You are on a hot streak right now. That's to say the least. You've won plenty of tournaments in your Marvel career. You're doing great now, but I want to start, if it's okay, with a little bit about where you come from. You can tell us what was your first competitive video game, what was your first fighting game, whatever's most applicable to you. Was Marvel 3 your first? Whatever you think is the most important parts of the RYANLV story, your time is now.
Well, Marvel 3 was my first competitive fighter. Started competing late 2014, I'd say. First out-of-state tournament was going to Arizona for Angelic's kind of ran bats there. I think I got third place. I got knocked out by Fizzy Cups twice. So, that didn't feel too good. Especially because my Sean level 3 crossed itself up on the game-winning combo, and I lost. And that's how I got sent home. But apart from that, I played Marvel 2 online. I played Soul Calibur 2 a lot when I was younger, Mortal Kombat 3, all these different games, but, too young to really understand any of them, so Marvel 3 was really where I got started.
If I could interject real quick, you said too young to understand. How young are you?
Right now, I'm 19.
19. That's really impressive, dude. So 19.
Yeah,
What's that?
I haven't felt old. I felt like Joey D just turned 21. Like,
I know.
Like coming in, it was like, oh yeah, Alex Valle, he's the old guy, whatever. And it's, man.
Hey man, this game's
Dude,
been out 6 years, guys. If
You
everybody,
dude, at final round, people were saying, I think it was like Sondelight was like, "Yo, I've been playing this game since I was 12," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Stop.
okay,
No,
Ryan,
I've been playing this game since I was 13, I think. So
that's crazy.
I was in 8th grade when this game came out. I was still in middle school.
That's
So-
cool.
What?
That's cool, man. That's really cool. Well, congratulations. You've had a
Thank
great, I want to say great start to your fighting game career because, I mean, Marvel 3 has been big for you, obviously, but I'm sure you've got a lot ahead of you. And also the chat's blowing you up for your camera angle a little bit because it's kind of hiding your mouth.
Oh, yeah?
But honestly, I kind of like
Okay.
it because it kind of fits you. Since we were never really sure if you were real, anyways, or if you ever say any words. So the fact that they literally can't see you over your mouth is actually kind of funny. But
It's just because he's always camping at the top of the
Like
screen.
your
you know?
mouth
He's camping,
cut
bro.
off, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
camping out of frame.
Yeah.
But
How's it
anyways,
now?
don't worry about it, dude. It's not even close to the worst angle we've ever had. Don't even worry about it. Seif is going to get 4 worse camera angles before the end of the show. So really, don't even sweat it. I'm just glad to have you on. We've got, obviously, a big surprise. Another RYANLV heavy episode today with our results. So it's very fitting for you to be on here to actually talk about yourself winning all these tournaments for once. But and I know it's a little bit harder for you with technology. You had to go to your friend's house and everything. So for everybody at home, RYANLV, he's made special arrangements for us. So let's give him a warm thank you. I won't waste any longer because I know we're dying to get into these results. But I do want to ask: does anybody just have a burning question that they want to ask Ryan off the top? Is anybody just like been dying to ask him anything that they want to do now? I'm sure we're gonna get to all of it.
Well, I'll go ahead. I'll ask the question that like I think I've heard literally everyone ask or do. Are you really that good,
Yes.
or are people just scrubs against your team?
Hold on. Okay, so are you really that good? Whenever people ask you that, do you prefer the jerk off motion? Do you roll your eyes? Do you knock them down? What? In
Do you just
Murphy's
triple
words.
jump away? Like
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
what's the
I
response?
triple jump away and I deflect the question typically.
But
No.
people are very ardent critics of you. What do you have to say off the top? What's the response?
I think the community as a whole just really overthinks the matchup. They think it's a lot harder than it actually is to fight my team for sure. They're like, oh, there's all these different angles he can play from and all these different plans, which is true, but there are definitely some counters to it. And I would say there are some hard counters to it as well. But I guess people just, it's a lot more simple
I like how
than they
Jesse-
think.
Oh, there's
so-
definitely some hard counters.
Yeah.
Good luck finding them out before next year, scrubs. All of you.
Yo, in your opinion, I have a question. What is the scariest team that you hate to play? Like, what's the scariest for you?
Anything with 0 on it. Probably 0 may cry.
Yeah. That seems
Yeah.
like a pretty straightforward answer. I mean, like, why wouldn't that
I
give
mean-
you tons of trouble?
Really, there's no team that you can point to and say, oh, that does well against 0 may cry. Because really, you get hit by one buster at 99, or you get hit by a random cross-up lightning or something, and then the game's over. And
And I showed the match with you and Eddie Moo, Not Enough Damage, formerly Too Much Damage, from Gwinnett Brawl, which was our introduction segment of the evening. Gwinnett Brawl, which is the big traditional kind of pre-final round tournament that they run in Atlanta, or it's not in Atlanta, it's in Georgia. And the final round is in Atlanta. They usually get a great host of talent, kind of a preview of what the weekend's going to be like. Everybody's already in town, so it was definitely a statement tournament for you. You got first place. You got it over Too Much Damage, or Not Enough. Already did it. Not Enough Damage. Eddie Moo, second place. A 0 player, and we showed, like I said, we showed the set, and definitely exactly what you're talking about. That happened. That happened more than a few times, and there were situations where your Phoenix was coming in at 2 bars, and you escaped the incoming. Plink flew all over the screen, by the skin of your teeth. What part of that would not be a good player? Is that what I'm asking you? It's like, do you ever why do you invite that so much, do you think? Is it just because you're winning, or is it just because you play Chun-Li?
well, first of all, I actually don't blink in there. I like wave dash in there like
you
a
go.
scrub.
There you
So
go. The whole wiggle zigzags.
yeah, that's pretty much it. But I didn't feel good about that set at all. It was sloppy on both parts, but for me, it was just I actually didn't feel good going into final round because of that set. I'm like, especially top 8, I had to fight Eddie round 1. So the whole way back when we were going back to the house before top 8, I was watching Win It Brawl again, and I was like, okay, this is what I did wrong. Just simple things that I missed that I didn't think of, like just did one too many box dashes at him, and then I went right into a pizza cutter or something, and that was it.
But in your credit, and this was I had the volume turned way down, and the reason why I had the volume turned way down in the video, guys, is because Georgia was so loud in that video. In this Gwynedd Brawl tournament, Seif, you can speak to this. Marcus, you can speak to this. We know this. Jonas, you know this. We've all been there. I've suffered it before. I felt it during plenty of team tournaments at final round. The noise that Georgia brought around you in that set, I mean, a violent amount of noise. And I believe, Kyle, you even brought it up on commentary. You said, I just don't know if RYANLV can, if he's been tested under this kind of pressure atmosphere before.
Like, we can see your face, so I can see your mouth, but like, the chin just cuts off.
But who's that sixth voice? Is that Zero Max?
Sorry.
What's up, Zero? No, it's good. By the way, if anybody knows Zero Max from the West Coast, that's who Ryan's at his house right now. So shout out to Zero Max for hooking it up. But yeah, the amount of noise and the amount of hype that was going on in that room, how did that feel? What impact did that have on your game, and were you much happier to have just Eddie alone on the stage at final round?
It bothered me a little bit, I'd say. I wouldn't say enough to alter my play, but it was still annoying. No one likes having a whole crowd of people yelling over you when you're trying to play a match. That's why I teabagged him at the end, too.
That was good. That was good. Okay, you also, to your credit, just like you said, you basically were stone cold the entire time. Every time the camera cut back to you, and that's your MO. You're stone cold, focused, zero in, and then, yeah, at the end of the match, just when it seemed like you were going to take the W and shake his hand and move on, teabagged the hell out of him. And actually, a guy came in at the tail end of the stream in the chat and was like, oh, he plays Phoenix, he teabags, and he asked for a handshake. And it's like, what? What? Where were you for the past?
No, Georgia's my family, but they definitely deserve every ounce of that. Like,
I know. It's my fault.
They're pretty hostile to invaders.
It's my fault.
I heard you had an incident, didn't you, Merkel?
Man, okay. I don't want to put anyone on blast. Shout outs to Baker. I wish that we could have played a match without all that nonsense going on. And then shout outs to all the crew that backed me up, because that was some crap.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I've been there, dude.
Hold that 3-0 run back or 3. I was 2-0 and because of this crap, and then ran it back 3 matches. So shout outs to like Static Alpha for sure, coming in with the clutch backup.
Yeah.
He does that, dude. He is the backup. He is the
So
backup.
he told me the story of what happened. I'm kind of like, oh my god, that's so happy. For those that don't know, one of the ATL boys was trash talking Kyle and my roommate who also plays Marvel in a match. And it got really like hostile, and Kyle didn't know what to do with it. And Static Alpha, being the god that he is, saw his boy getting trash talked on, came out of nowhere, and just like took over the entire freaking match. It was over. 3-0. Like, for some people, it really matters because like they kind of hear what's going on in the background, which is why I think it was like really impressive that like RYANLV, like, we had the loudest mouths in Georgia at that tournament. We had the loudest mouths in Georgia at final round. Anytime Ricky's in the room, it's so crazy.
And Max.
Ricky times Max.
Oh god, yeah. It's crazy, dude. Like, so I mean, I think it's sick that you're able to do that. But I have a question for you. I mean, that's not to say that like Las Vegas doesn't trash talk either. Y'all got some mouths on you too. Like, can you tell me a little about that? I know like Justice probably like ratchet as fuck sometimes. Excuse me for being ratchet. Slips.
No, they have the mouths. I don't trash talk at all. I just I'm just doing my own thing. But I mean, I'm not opposed to them talking trash for me, though. In fact, I encourage them to do it. So, that's fine. But
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, guys. There's nothing wrong with trash talk. And in fact, the Atlanta video, I mean, of them, the Georgia guys going hype is fun. It's really nuts. It's really crazy. I mean, just watching the video, you feel like, holy crap, this is, this was really serious. So I'm just saying, shout out to you for cutting through it. Real quickly, I want to read the top 8 of the tournament. So
wait, I got a question. No, everybody's skipping
go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, why Chun? God dang! Like we asked 4 questions, we didn't ask him why he chose to stick with Chun.
Hey, that's true. Why Chun?
It looks obvious to me.
She works well with the team. I actually tried Magneto. A couple of weeks ago, I was playing Mag Morgan Phoenix online. I played well over 100 games. I don't like it, honestly. It's not like, I feel it's so unstable trying to run away with Magneto. So I can't run away. I actually have to play neutral with Magnetic Blast and Phoenix Assist, which is actually doable against a lot of teams, but it loses hard against other Magnetos and things like that. So it's fun to play Magneto with that, but playing Shun again after, I felt so much better. And apart from Magneto, I can't think of anyone else with Morgan Phoenix that would work too well. Because they just don't have the mobility like Magneto and Chun.
So it's not any type of character loyalty or love for the character. It's mostly she's a tool to do what you want to do to make you power up your Phoenix and your Morgan, right?
I would say it's both, for sure.
Which is how it should be. That's how you know you're doing. That's how you know you're doing really successful. If your character, you want to say it's low tier or whatever, if you really like it and it's working for you, hey man. Some people might do a double take, Chun over Magneto, but the way you describe the game plan, the way you break down your team, and the way it performs in action, I think that speaks for itself. So I think Chun-Li may be still a bad character, but the way you do it, great, dude, great. But anyways, Gwinnett Brawl top 8. I just want to run the numbers down real quick. First place, we had RYANLV. Second place, we had Not Enough Damage. Third place, we had I Heart Justice. Another up-and-coming Las Vegas guy. He's very good, very great. Also a low-tier hero in some situations.
I do want to say I think that he's got the best mid-match pop-off when he does like the Super X Factor salute with Cap into THC. That's so good.
Yeah. For anybody who hasn't seen that clip of when I Heart Justice threw up the taunt into the Team Super, that's electric, and that's like it's so instantly like hype. Like he just does it, and it's like that's sick. That's really sick. So shouts to I Heart Justice. Has a friend of the show, has been on before. One of my favorite guests. He was hilarious. So the LV scene, you guys are just doing great things out there. Fourth place, Joey D, King of the Midwest. I don't know.
I like the question mark at the end of there.
Yeah, well, I'll say it. Sure, Joey. A strong representative of the Midwest. Shouts to him. Fifth place was Flux and DapVip. DapVip is another Atlanta native. Is he Atlanta?
Definitely.
Yes.
I knew he was
Georgia.
Definitely
I didn't know
if
ATL.
he was Atlanta, but yeah, okay. So confirmed by my Southeast boys. I moved from there. I don't know you guys anymore, so like whatever. Shouts to him. Iron Man player, 5th place, and Flux, who's consistent Zero May Cry player. I'm glad to see him still traveling, still doing well. And then 7th place, Ray and Takumi. It was really nice seeing Takumi out there doing his action, playing his stuff, and looking really solid. So I look forward to seeing him at EVO. I'm not sure what other tournaments he's going to. I assume he'll be at EVO. I hope he tries to become a Curly Circuit champion. That could happen. I mean, it could happen. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
He has a sponsor. Yeah, I mean, he's sponsored by Graft, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's like the upper echelon of esports.
Yeah,
Really?
I think Nemo's on that team too,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
No, it's not Nemo. It's Fudo.
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 Got
One
it.
of the highlights for my final round. So I'm at Gwinnett, and of course Takumi got there, and he was early. He's walking around. He comes up. He goes, "Hey, do you know me?" And I was like, "Do I know you, Takumi?" Of course I know you. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's really nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan of the show." And it's like, that's really cool.
That's
So,
tight.
yeah.
That's
so
tight.
huge shout outs to Takumi. That made my entire weekend. I loved it.
That's cool. That's very cool. So shouts to Takumi. He's a colorful guy in our scene. I love seeing him play. So like I said, I hope to see him again real soon. Some interesting things about this Gwinnett Brawl tournament. New York missed top 3. So, Ray, 7th place. Interesting finish at final round. We'll talk about that. Ryan, did you not lose a round before grand finals?
No, I went 3-2 against Terry Bogard, top 16.
Okay. All right.
I think that might have been...
No. At Gwinnett Brawl. At Gwinnett Brawl.
Oh, Gwinnett Brawl. Yeah, that was the only time I lost a game.
Okay.
Grand finals.
So you lost a game in grand finals. Otherwise,
I lost 2.
You lost 2 games. Come on, Ryan. You lost 2 games in grand finals?
Better, man. Come on.
I know.
Have you perfected tournaments before?
Hang on, guys. Just stop the episode. Let's just get another guess.
I know.
Like,
Can
you can't even completely beat Georgia. I don't know what's the point.
Can we get Yipes on the phone or something? This is embarrassing. 2 rounds in grand finals. That's very impressive. You said you had some worries going into final round about your performance with 0. Obviously, you clearly made the adjustments. You were prepared, and you beat a who's who of final round. But we'll get to that in a second. Any closing remarks on Gwinnett Brawl that you felt? Did you like the event? Did you think it was cool?
Yeah.
That it was kind of like a preview. What were your impressions? How'd you feel about it?
It was a great venue. There was a lot of space too. That's what I liked about it, because a lot of the smaller locals before majors, they're always super cramped and like no room to walk. You're playing a match and you're getting bumped around, and it's terrible. But I did not have that problem at all at Gwinnett Brawl, even in grand finals with all the people behind me. Still didn't have that problem. So it was a fun event. And it was a convenient location too. There's a lot of places to go to nearby and all walking distance. So it was great. It was really good.
And I know you're trying to travel more, so I know it doesn't necessarily mean a lot that you went to a tournament for a major you're already traveling for, but sometimes getting that extra Thursday is a little harder, and much less going to and winning a tournament. I mean, that's pretty cool. So shout out to you putting in the grind. Anybody else that was there? I wasn't there, unfortunately. I did watch the stream, but anybody else? Closing remarks on Gwinnett Brawl, because we have a lot to take down on final round.
I think it's always, if you're ever at final round a day early, like absolutely put that on your list. It's like at worst an hour from the venue, and like everyone gets to come out. I got to play. Oh my god, my brain.
Nobody.
Like last year, I got to play against Obigan in some sets, and like I wouldn't have. It's just everyone's so busy at final round. It's hard to sit down and play casual. So you get to play with a lot more players, and you get to like shake off those nerves and get to just watch like a lot of really hype stuff. That it's so much more low key but high skill. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really unique. And Brian compared it to other tournaments. Kind of like the PSG tournament that they run for Evo? I think it is. Like right that weekend. They obviously get a way bigger influx because it's Evo, but the Gwinnett Brawl guys have such a huge Smash turnout now. Is it in the same venue?
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say Gwinnett Brawl. This was actually the first time I was able to go to a pre-final round thing at that venue, and it was way more tame than it usually is. It was, I think, about 30 plus entrants for Marvel and maybe 30 or 40 for Street Fighter, but typically they'll have 130 for Melee, and then Smash 4, and then they'll have 16 to 20 for Marvel and about 30 for Street Fighter. So not having those Smash players there at the same time really opened up a lot of stuff. So
yeah, the venue seems small when the Smash crew's there. Like they come out in droves. Like it's a really good scene for pretty much any game at this point if you're in the Atlanta area. And if you're not in the Atlanta, or if you are in the Atlanta area and you're not going out and play there, you're missing out. Like definitely try and make Gwinnett Brawl like a regular. And there's like a Georgia Marvel Facebook group you can hit up there. Like go find the people there. I know I ran into a couple of people at final round that told me they lived in the area and didn't actually know about it. So,
and don't be shy, guys. The Georgia scene is so hyped. They're the friendliest guys ever.
They are friendly.
Yeah.
They are been nice to literally everybody I've ever known who's reached out to them. I've never heard of anybody who had an experience with the Georgia community and was like,
Southern hospitality is real.
Southern hospitality is very real. So shout outs to Georgia. Shout outs to Gwinnett Brawl. Quickly, becoming its own very regular monthly. It is affiliated with the Curly Circuit currently. It is getting enough points and integrated through Smash.gg, so it is a point builder. Glad to see that happening. Glad to see that working in action. anything else before we get to final round? Because, man, I'm stoked to talk about Ray Ray. If anybody doesn't have anything good to say for our Evo pick, I do. I'm going to still defend Ray Ray to the T. So if anybody feels like they really need to tear into him, I'll just go ahead and let you know the defense squad is here. But I do want to read the top 8 real quick at the top of the segment. Our top 8 for final round was RYANLV, number 1. Congratulations again. Number 2, Chris G. God, this top 8 is nuts. Number 2, Chris G. Number 3, F Champ. Whoa. 2017. Terry Bogard. Number 4. Number 5, Ronan Healy from Tampa. Am I right?
Yeah, shout out. This was such a good.
Hey, we'll get to the Taskmaster talk.
Taskmaster.
Just chill.
Hey,
It's a shame nobody here in our group likes Taskmaster.
Hey.
Like, it would be such a good episode to be on. I don't know.
That character's coming. That character's coming along. So shouts to Ronan Healy making it work with the team that we've seen. Aries Johnson has played a lot. It's a great, competent team. Taskmaster's Doom Sentinel. He tied that spot with Eddie Moo. Not enough damage. The second place finisher from the Gwinnett Brawl. And then rounding out our 7th place finishes were actually Jazz Rap, another Georgia local, and also a guy who's been really strong for a long time. So super shout outs to Jazz Rap. Dude, Jazz, you're awesome. Shout outs to getting top 8, and that's a
Jazz,
good team.
at this point, he's actually Alabama, right? I get to claim him
Yeah,
now.
he is. Yeah, he's
He's ours now.
He's okay. So Merkel's claiming him. That's fine. Roll Tide. But shouts to him, Wolverine, Spencer Doom. Very, very solid. Very, very quiet, but he's focused, and I'm glad to see him get his results. And he shared that 7th place spot with Joey D. So our Midwest man is out there still doing it. I'm proud of you, Joey. I'm proud of you, Joey. I can't wait to see you again. But I want to start with not outside of the top 8. We can come back to the top 8 in just a second because we got number 1. And we're going to talk a lot about number 1 and how he feels about, everything else. But I'm going to give Ryan a break here for a second. Ryan, take a break. Okay. Don't smoke cigarettes. You're not old enough, man. Just about everybody picked Ray as our Evo favorite. He had a 7th place finish at the Gwinnett Brawl, a 35-man tournament. And he lost in pools in a 124-man final round 2017. What do we have to say for ourselves, guys? Do we have to say anything for ourselves? Do we still feel confident in Ray? Jonas, lead us off. What's your thoughts, buddy?
I just want to say, when you asked me, I said, let's wait and see.
You did. Okay, so we
waited and saw.
You waited and saw. Now you put yourself on the spot. How do you feel about Ray Ray?
I like him. I hope he picks up. Maybe it was just a bad weekend.
You think so?
I want to see more of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't win just 2 tournaments in a row just to not make it out of pools the next one. Something gotta be wrong,
Yeah. I mean, he's a human. He's a human with things that happen in life that are not Marvel vs. Capcom. It's possible. Anybody else? Seif, Marcus?
Well, I don't even remember what I said. I don't think it was Ray, though. I think, if anything, I would have... I know I mentioned RYANLV in the conversation. I forget what I committed to. I don't care. Because y'all writing off Ray off of one tournament...
Yeah.
Just because he lost to characters that he had no, little matchup experience against.
Yeah.
Dude's got to learn somehow.
Well, he lost to Ronin, right? In losers?
Yeah.
Or was that
when? No. Can I? I just want to cut in because he lost to Ronan Healy in winners, and then he lost to I Heart Justice in losers.
Right.
I was the one that brought up Ray being a strong contender for Evo, and I still stand by that statement. I can't stand by it saying he lost to unknown characters or characters that he doesn't have that much matchup experience in, because he travels he's the most traveled player probably out right now, and I don't think we can use that as an option select for Ray. He just had a bad weekend.
I agree too.
Yeah,
I agree with you there too. I'm not saying that it's just one thing, but I'm saying it's at least a factor. It's the first time he's ever played, and they play very unique. And you look at the way Ronan was playing neutral, Ray did not have a game plan.
Here's some credit to that. Static Alpha, who does he play all the damn time? Aries. Who did he lose to?
Ronan. He lost to Ronan.
They're different. They're really different. I mean, they're world
Yeah,
apart.
yeah, definitely.
Ronan is he's a special guy. He's got a good play style, very solid, different unique patterns from his arrows. I like seeing him. I like seeing him use the up arrows a lot in the Magneto matchup. Dashing through drones, calling your own drones, and putting this blanket up, that gives Magneto hell. I mean, that is awful. I've always go ahead.
As much as I wish that I could say it wasn't like, and I'm not even trying to optimize. Like, I think that is a very bad matchup for Magneto.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
There's so many places on the screen that you just can't be. You can't throw your mag blast. You can't dash in, or else you're just going to run into shields. Like, the only way you can win that matchup is if you can just get the right guesses and put disruptors in the right places. Otherwise, you're just stuck holding stuff. And shout outs to Sondalite, Ares, Ronan Healy. Who I feel like there's another task. Who am I missing? Was there another task at Final Round?
It's more task drones.
Right, task drones is so good. I don't know why people took so long to really catch on. Like, I'm glad it catches on. I think it's a really strong composition. Especially Sondalite runs task drone Virgil. I think that one's just fantastic.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the best entry teams in the game, honestly.
I was gonna say too. After their match in top 8 and winner's side, it was Champ versus Ronan, and Champ ended up, I think, winning 3-1. But Ronan had a couple of moments in there where it looked like he could have took the match. But even afterwards, I talked to Champ a little bit, and he said that it's hard to play against Taskmaster, like that team in specific. He was like, I was like, are your plank slipped off and everything? He's like, yeah, you have to be super. Like, you have to have your mobility on point in order to fight against that team as Magneto, especially in Champ's case where he's only having 1 neutral assist, where at least Ray had 2 neutral assists, but it's super hard, that matchup in particular, is what Champ said. Yeah, 3-2. He won 3-2.
But I think
go ahead.
Going back to Ray real quick, I do think in both of those matches, at no point did he try to go up and get a throw against Justice's Phoenix. He just let him gather his evidence and then let him pull in Cap. And honestly, I think that he should have just left Phoenix right in. If your opponent doesn't know how to deal with right, why are you going to switch to something that people might have a chance at knowing? I think that's something that Javier needs to
No, that's not it. He's switching him because it's easier to simply get a hit with any other character and just TAC into Phoenix right, so he can do stuff.
I understand that,
exactly.
Right,
yeah.
and I understand both of those, but he was winning the entire neutral before you even have Phoenix Wright's zoning tools. And once you actually have some zoning tools, if they don't know how to deal with Maya's shield, just win the match. And he did anyways. But I definitely think that I don't feel like Ray had any idea what to do in that match.
No, for sure. There were some things that looked kind of suspicious, but I can see where I remember seeing it. I was like, yo, I would hard tag there too, because it's when you play that character, you just want to keep him alive,
I mean, I feel it both ways. I mean, honestly, because Ray, he can get easily frustrated. He's proven that before. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he just ran into some little weird Phoenix Wright stuff, and he was, kind of stubborn a little bit on changing it up. But again, if you want to go back to Ronan Healy and Taskmaster, compare the scenarios. What does Magneto want to do? Say Magneto drones. What does Task want to do with drones? You probably want to put a projectile out and get drones on the screen. Taskmaster, guarantee he wants to do the same thing. When these projectiles collide, especially when you're calculating things like shield skills, very diversified projectile angles, just a lot of damage and a lot of survivability. Taskmaster can take the little hits, the little disruptors and things like that, take trades and come out ahead. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. And it's a little weird with drones because some of the pickups are very specific and you have to be very prepared for them, especially if you're a Taskmaster player. And Taskmaster, we talk about this all the time, Marcus. Taskmaster kind of has this weird, I don't know, some people think that he should only be in the back. Some people think that he's only a point. Some people think that, he's useless. And it's it's been a while. It's been a little bit before people have really sat down and experimented how far they can take his optimization and things like that as a point character, and we're starting to see the results. So
I think we'd see a lot more Task if he had a reliable infinite. I think the fact that he doesn't,
Oh,
I think his assists
yeah.
are really solid, and I think he's a really strong point in some good matchups. But like he's so weird to get damage and outside of certain scenarios. I think that's one of his weaknesses. But I think what we're seeing now with the task drone army starting to come out of the woodwork more and more. Like I think it's a really good show. I think that more people need to do it. It gives a lot of top tiers a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it does, and I'm glad to see Taskmaster have legs. Obviously, I'm a former Taskmaster player. I still play him against Remy. Ask Remy about the last time he played my Taskmaster long set. I left him seething with anger about this character because when you really play it correctly, it can feel very limiting. So I respect him. I think Ronan's got something going for him. I know a lot of people don't respect him for whatever reason. Those conversations are just going to keep on happening. I'm not really interested in those, but
can we give a shout out to everyone from Florida that actually came out?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Everybody did great. That's what I want to see, guys. Keep doing it, please.
Also, I just want to say too that Ronan and Ares. So Ares has retribution because he was salty that Static lost to Ronan. He wanted to avenge his boy, so they played a 1-to-6 money match. And it was a mirror match too, and he ended up winning. I think it was 6-3 or 6-4.
Okay.
It was he was up like 5-2, and then I convinced Ronan to switch to all orange team, and then he won the next 2 games. And if he would have had that buff the entire set, he would have had that buff for the entire set if he had listened to me. But
he tried to power up, huh? I respect that.
Yeah, it was still a good, entertaining set. Unfortunately, we didn't get to record it, but yeah, those guys they're good. Like those some good Taskmaster players. So
glad to see it. I do want to say quickly shout outs to everybody who's in the chat. Shout outs to our regulars, Aeonian, General Reaction, Dual Kevin. You're all tuning in almost every episode, and I can't say thank you enough. Shout outs to everybody who we don't see every time. I see some new names in the chat. Glad to have you guys. We meet every first and third Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So thank you again for tuning in. We are talking about Final Round 20, which just occurred not last weekend, was it? I don't know where we are. Yeah, it was last weekend.
Before.
Oh, weekend
2 weekends
before.
back.
Man, I've been doing so much stuff. I don't even know. But I do, if everybody's cool, I do want to pose a question to Ryan now. Because it's a big one. And is a scenario that we had not seen before this final round. So tell me about it, Ryan. How was it playing Ryan? I know that there's a lot of, I don't want to say excuses because the man's a legend. He hasn't been playing as much. He's obviously been very focused on Street Fighter. He's having a hugely successful Street Fighter career right now. You got to play him in a big stage, in a really wild scenario. How did it feel? How did you feel about your performance against Champ? It's something that's hyped up, for a lot of reasons. What were your thoughts? How did you feel about playing against a player like his caliber?
I thought it was a long time coming. I'm so glad I finally got the opportunity to play him, but I felt good about it right after it happened. But then going back and watching, I'm like, it was a little sloppier than I thought, or a little sloppier than I hoped it would be. But
on your end or on his end?
Well, to be fair, it would be on both ends, but mainly just me not playing the matchup right, I guess. I think Point Dormammu I think Chun-Li can actually fight Point Dormammu pretty well, despite what most people would think, because he's going to expect me to run, and he's going to be trying to punish Harmonizer assist with Purification.
Mm-hmm.
If I clink forward and he does the wrong Purification, or if he does heavy and I quickly go full screen, then that's pretty much it. If I stay at the mid-range and I just don't do anything, he can't really commit to anything. If he puts down Flame Carpet, that goes away if I hit him. Teleports will lose to Spinning Bird Kick.
Yeah, I feel like your dash angles probably avoid Flame Carpet pretty well. Like all the characters that I play, like it's so annoying trying to get over Flame Carpet, but I feel like Chun probably has a nice angle with their dash.
Especially with Spinning Bird Kick, it's just going to go right over it. So, Flame Carpet doesn't do too much in that matchup. I still have my Fireball, and at a mid-range, I can even call Phoenix Assist, because he can only punish with Chaotic Flame. And if I'm in range for my invincible super, I can save Phoenix and just go right through it and kill him. So I think that Champ really he hindered himself by playing that team for sure.
Wow, that's really interesting that you said that. You're always looking out for other ways to play your team and kind of stretch outside the norm of the Phoenix meter hoarder, kind of stereotype. And I'm glad you said that last line that he kind of handicapped himself with that team, because part of your interview, whenever it was coming up, was you said that you were really interested to see what he was going to go with against you. You mentioned that he had a few different teams. He ended up obviously going with the Dormammu choice. What would you have not wanted to see from F-Champ? Would you not want to play against his Magneto, or is there something that you thought he might have different?
The Magneto would have been harder, I think. It might have been. I don't know. Chun-Li can punish a lot of what Magneto does, so he has to not do it. I don't know if Champ would know that. He can't really disrupt her too crazy because Chun can punish even from pretty much anywhere on screen. If he stays in the air too much, I can stay on the ground and mix them up. But then the opposite is true for me. If I'm going up in the air, then I'm free of Magneto on the way down. So it's a really weird matchup. But I don't know. He took a big risk with going Dormammu, but the plan was never to run away from Dormammu at all. I was going to rush him down and stay at mid-range. So I was a lot more comfortable fighting point Dormammu for sure.
That's smart. And
so
go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Well, you're not on the Hangouts call, so I can't give you video, but you can say whatever you want.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, my bad.
Just put the video on me and I'll move my nose.
Okay. My question to you is, so like you just had a very formulated game plan that you trusted in, which tells me that you have experience executing it. I feel like in order for you to play this team that you have against all these different teams, you've had to come up with a lot of game plans. And in order to do that, you have to play a lot. My question to you is like, where does your experience come from? Were you like an online monster trying to like play against all these different characters and like figure out what to do? Did you find that out through like playing tournaments through your scene? I'm just more so curious.
I'm definitely an online monster, so that's where I get most of my practice. I also have an offline team. Not too many people to practice against. Of course, I have iHeart Justice, but actually not the best partner for me to have, because we always say we can't practice against each other because we can't do our typical game plans against each other.
Yeah.
Like, he's playing Phoenix Red. Of course, I'm just going to keep box dashing and trying to throw through Maya. And obviously, I'm not going to do that for any other matchup. So practicing against him doesn't really help me at all. So he'll play a like point cap on me or something like that. But we have a lot of zeros here in Vegas, so that's how I get my zero my crack practice. But definitely online. There are really no Magnetos here in Vegas, so I play online for Magneto. I play online for a lot of other characters, and it's actually pretty good practice, I'd say. People hate online, and that's fair enough. I don't like it either, but
I hate Magneto online.
Yeah, I can't imagine. But that's really interesting that you said that, because they asked, I mean, this is a little bit different scenario, but someone asked Shin what he did to prepare for final round and how he won. Like, what was the secret? And he's like, I played online. I just played a ton. I played a ton online. And you're saying the same thing. Here you are in 2017, hot streak tournament, man. You're playing online.
I think the problem is with a lot of players is that they only practice against each other. Like, someone is coming to final round, they're like, okay, I'm going to practice it. I'm ready for the Morgan matchup if I fight Chris G. I'm ready for Phoenix if I fight Champ. And, I know the Zero Cry matchup, so I think I'm good to go. And they do that, and then they lose in pools to a Nova or a Spencer or something like that. But playing online so much has actually made me very confident in pools. I used to be terrified of pools because, you don't know what to expect. You're pretty much playing blind because you can't really YouTube a lot of people in pools. But like playing ranked first to one, it's really helped me with my first to one game plan too, because team tournament was also first to one. So learning matchups, learning how to prepare when things don't go your way because of lag and other ridiculous things like that. and just playing quick games against random people you don't know, and it's just, I think that's the best way for me to practice.
Fair enough. Well, like, I mean, he's not saying anybody else has to do it, so shouts to him. He's just saying it's what works for him. That's crazy. That makes me want to kind of play more. Jonas, what do you have to say, man?
Yo, speaking about practice, I have one question from Ryan. So
Not a game.
So basically, what is your opinion on PS4 Marvel, and what have you done to overcome that and stay at the top? Because you were winning on Xbox and now you're winning on PS4. What adjustments do you have to do to stay on the top of your game?
Wait, this is a good question.
This is a good question, though. It's okay. We got time.
Yeah.
If you want to field it, Ryan, I say go for it.
Well, as far as the port, I don't like the port. It's not. They did some things right. I like how all the costumes are unlocked and everything like that, and Jill and Shuba are there for free, so players like Angelic don't have to worry about carrying their own setup everywhere. But it's playable. I don't think the one frame of lag is a problem at all. I actually play both 360 and PS4. I play 360 when I want to play online, and then I'll play PS4 obviously if I'm playing offline or if I'm practicing for a tournament. But I go back and forth just fine with no problems. I still don't like the port because it has its own issues. The sound obviously is terrible.
It's horrible.
It's especially when you watch a stream.
It's
like
really
the whole
bad.
right side has no sound basically. Even things like Frank West with the plunger and you hear the zombie noise for no reason. It clearly shows that there is something wrong with the coding of the port. Like, how does something like that even happen? So something broke with the game. There's probably more issues that people haven't found, but that's just with sound and things related to that. It's perfectly playable. I played 360 last night actually because my pad broke, and I actually forgot my converter when I went over to iHeart Justice's place last night. So they just had a regular wired 360 pad, so I could only play on 360, and I was playing just fine, doing infinites just fine, really didn't drop much. So I don't really understand why it's such a big issue for a lot of people. It's just a lot of people don't practice, and the whole PS4 thing just getting to their head.
That's a very mature
that
answer,
is
young man.
That is a fountain of wisdom right there.
Are you sure you're 19?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
That pretty much sums up my feelings about it. I mean, you're right. There's problems, and when it's on stream, it's really obvious because when they switch. So I mean, it's a game where we go coast to coast a lot, and you can really tell. I mean, even when just one character is getting comboed on the side of the screen, the sound can just kind of suck out of it, and that really sucks. The Frank West bug is inexcusable. I mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff like that. It's very strange, but you put the nose to the grindstone and you play it, man. So shout outs to you. I mean, I think that's the proper attitude. I mean, the unfortunate reality is that the game has to move to PS4. Just period. I mean, it did.
Yeah.
It moved here. We're already here. It would be worse if we came here and then tried to like Frankenstein a way to go back. Like it would.
And the thing is, it moved here mostly because of the community too. When Angelic asked the question, what console should Undefeated be played on? Almost everyone said PS4, and I said 360, and then everyone told me to adapt, and now it's the other way around.
That's
so
crazy.
That's so good.
That's so nasty. I mean,
It's the same thing too that Norbert said about Naptown. Is everybody was like up in arms about Naptown being on 360, so he switched to PS4, and then he was kind of like missed me with that. You guys want to switch back to to 360 because you guys were the same people complaining about everybody needing to adapt, and now you guys don't want to adapt. So
right,
100%.
Yeah, that's not a crutch that you can lean on. Unfortunately, if you want to pull that card and make it real, then you have to really live it. And Ryan, you're doing it. Other guys, Static Alpha was like, this port sucks. He was like, I can't do it. That's my best Brandon voice, but
It's not bad.
it's not. I mean, it's a change, but
That was pretty on point.
that was really good, Ryan. Thank
Remy
you.
Martin would have adapted.
Yeah, Remy Martin would have done it. Remy Martin. Thanks for being our mouthpiece for that answer, frankly. I mean, I'm just going to copy-paste as somebody has said before, copy paste that every time I hear this argument again. So shout outs to you, Ryan. But the port does have some problems. I mean, it's true. I mean, every port does. There's very, very rarely a perfect port. But, you know, we've already got great things coming from it. We've got new players. We had 124 people playing.
I don't think it's problems, but it's different. And Xbox had problems too. So I just want to play.
I think the big thing is, like, when you have, like, there are not many people doing Morgan Infinites, and even fewer people, even on 360, that were doing them consistently. So if you're going to try and blame a port for your lack of execution when people are clearly doing it, like, I don't know, just suck it up. Like, stop. Or don't just suck it up. Like, stop sucking. Just play the game, practice, and just do it. It's, I swear, like, as soon as people learned there was one frame, I was so done with the internet that day. Like, everyone went on a crusade about that. Suddenly, why they lost all their matches recently, and and
I'm also using a converter on top of playing on PS4. So I go from converter on PS4 to regular controller on 360. There's really no difference for me.
Yeah, like, straight up, like, it's you and Kevin are, to me, the most prominent pad players, and you guys both really didn't drop off from going 360 to PS4. You're still getting first place at everything you go to, and Kevin's still getting fourth.
Wow. Where's Kevin's point standing right now? That'd be really funny if he was somehow fourth. But shout outs to RYANLV, our overwhelming points leader right now. You are really taking the curly circuit by storm, and frankly, this is one of the reasons we talked about the community aspect. You know, we were glad that the curly circuit's doing so well at local scenes and generating community interest in regional tournaments, and, you know, giving people a roadmap to get more involved with their scene. But it's also to quantify, like, what does winning tournaments back to back to back at various sizes at various parts of the country, what does that look like? If we could put points to it, what does that look like? It looks like RYANLV. That's what it looks like. I mean, so thank you for being a participant and you know, get out there and making us look good by, you know, putting your money where your mouth is. And we did adjust the points a little bit. I don't know if everybody saw that. There was a small adjustment. There were some complaints about basically majors giving too little, which is fine. It was true.
Right.
When we announced it, it was a little bit in favor of local events over major events, but that was by design. We wanted people to be really excited, and, you know, we were more scared that people would think this is pointless at a community level than it was, you know, at a major level. So we got the tournaments going.
The problem was it was pointless at the major level, and so they fixed it.
Exactly. So we did fix it, and the majors are now worth more points, but unfortunately we also need more players. So we're gonna have to start getting more participants. But it's 2017. It's looking pretty good. I'm excited about the future of Marvel 3 this year. There's a lot of projects that people have been sort of accustomed to or introduced to or acquainted to, but they don't know the details of yet, and they're really going to spin people's heads. It's really exciting. So thank you to Ryan for going out here and winning all these tournaments and doing your work, and also being 19 years old, being a really mature spokesperson for the game, spokesperson for yourself. I remember at Combo Breaker, I was trying to find you. I was like, "Where's Ryan?" It's like 11 o'clock. Oh God, he's partying somewhere or something like that.
I remember that because we were trying to do a new school versus old school kind of exhibition, weren't we?
Yep, 3v3 or something like that with Justin and Champ and you and a bunch of people, and they were like, "Yeah, he's just watching TV."
Yeah, I was actually asleep.
Yeah,
and then everyone was calling me, and then I answered, like, "Oh, you have to come here right now," and I'm like, I was, you know, really annoyed, of course, but
yeah,
and then I go down there, and then they're running the round robin for the best of the Midwest thing, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And it never happened. So I was pretty annoyed. I was like, I came here for nothing, but it wasn't for nothing. I played a lot when I got there. I played casuals with a lot of people. So
you did come down looking mighty pissed off, and also you were in. But my favorite part was, I'm pretty sure you were in your jersey. So I don't know if you fell asleep in that, or if you like got up and was like, "Well, it's business time," so you put it on the sponsor.
Yeah, I definitely put it back on.
That was smart. See, you're good at this, man. You're good at this. You're smart, man. So I'll be looking forward to that in the future. Anybody want to talk about Chris G versus Ryan? We had the blow up in pools. Ryan, you did very well against him, but he did reset it in grand finals. Was there anything that changed out of him? Did you notice any difference in Chris's play? Like, he's adapting a little bit. Now I need to make my adjustment. That's were you stressing it?
Yeah, I actually noticed it the day before in pools. Even though I beat him 3-0, that was still the worst that I've had with him where I won, I'd say. It was like the least dominance that I've had. His adjustment was that when I bring Morgan in, after I've built up my meter, he also tagged out Morgan. He brought in Doom, and then he was calling Morgan and building his own meter while I had Morgan.
Oh.
That was his adjustment.
Yo, shouts to FChamp. He actually gave him that idea.
Shout outs to the gods conspiring against
no actual conspiracy.
It's like a cabal out here trying to stop RYANLV. So he did reset you in grand finals, but you managed to hang on. Tell me a little bit about that grand final set.
Honestly, I can't even tell you of any adjustment I made after the reset. Really, after the reset, I just try to keep my composure and just try again. Really,
try to beat him straight up.
That's the problem a lot of people have, is that adapting is obviously important, but you need to know when, Marvel just happened, and you just need to try again. Don't change anything, because then you change too many variables, and then suddenly the whole thing just breaks, and then you do even worse. So, because that's what happened in Combo Breaker last year. I was doing pretty well in the first set of Grand Finals against Terry Bogard. And then after the reset, I just was overthinking way too much, and I made way too big of an adjustment, and then I lost.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of Terry, that top 16 matchup between you two had me so salty for Terry. Like, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like he had you. He would have beat you that set had it not been for his controller issues. And like, I know you're saying you were playing like iffy against Chris, but like I felt like Terry had your number that set, and I don't necessarily think that would have prevented you from winning the whole tournament, but I felt like that was probably the most important match of final round, I guess, for Marvel, because like that top 8 would have looked a lot differently had Terry beat you in the top 16.
Those X Factors were really ugly.
Well, I actually talked to Terry. We did a 1-to-5 exhibition after Gwynedd Brawl, and he had the same issue with the accidental X Factor. I asked him why, and he wasn't even sure why. I don't even know if he said it was the PS4 pad. He was like, oh, I don't know. But really, the PS4 pad, or the transition to PS4 happened a few months ago. I think it was a few months ago, right?
Tell him the timeline. Really,
you should know by now if you can't play on the PS4 controller. I found that out probably 2 weeks after, and I tried it didn't work, and then I immediately got a converter. So, I mean, if the controller was the issue this late into the transition, then that's kind of on him.
Definitely, I 100% agree. And like, it was good to see him not have that issue in top 8, but I felt like that set was super close, and like there was a few times like, damn, if he would have had X Factor, he could have withstood Phoenix, and then it would have been a different game.
But Ryan, go get internet for your house and a computer you're part of the show now. I don't know if you know that, but welcome to the team, man. Like, it is so nice to hear people like just. I know it's dealing with the problems the way that you should. Like, there's no complaining. It's like, yeah, it's a problem. This is how you fix it. Like, you're hands down my favorite player right now. Like,
thank you.
I always assumed that because you never talked a tournament, like, I had literally no clue what kind of player you are. But I'm so glad that you came on the show because I love your mentality. Absolutely.
Well, thank you for having me on. I mean,
Sonic, the same.
This whole thing couldn't have happened if you guys didn't give me the opportunity.
Dude, okay. This is what I was telling you, right? I was telling you before we got started tonight how excited everybody was to have you on. There's people in the chat that are excited to hear from you. We really don't get to hear from you a lot, man. You just kind of come and you beat our gods, you collect the W's, and then you just go home go to bed, dude. So it's like, this is really crazy. Like to hear, you know, we've had dominant players before. We've had streaks, you know, and stuff like that. There's a lot of Johns in the Marvel community in general, to borrow from Smash lingo for a second, if I may. But you're water, man. It's just smooth. Like it hits you and it just. It's the hate, it's the trolls, it's the excuses. Like, I'm not trying to you know, be the D writer here. I'm legitimately impressed.
Right.
I'm legitimately impressed. Like, you're very well composed. You got a lot of success going for you. Everybody is kind of pulling for you on the team a little bit. It's really cool to see you doing well, but I mean, Merkel said it best, dude. You're killing it. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on, talking to all these people on the stream, man. We've been wanting to hear from you.
It was a team effort for sure, 50-50.
You're right. It was a 50-50. So I asked you to come on before, but you know you had your tech issues. You couldn't make it happen. So I'm glad you really found the chance to come out here and do this. So again, dude, thanks for coming on. By the way, we do have more show to talk about. I know it feels like we've already done so much because we've done our first 2 segments, but we do have to move on. We've got some juicy stuff ahead of us. Does anybody want to sign off on the final round? Anything that we left off? Very compelling tournament.
I want to ask, what do people think about the Curly Circuit and just our Marvel Live additional stuff? Like me and Steve's preview of Top 8. Like, let us know.
Interviews.
Yeah, let us know what you guys thought about that, because we're hoping to, any event that we're going to, we're hoping to be able to implement that moving forward, and ideally it's only going to get better. That was our test run, and ideally everything is going to be even bigger, even better moving forward.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, but
I'll say before we move off, final round huge shout outs to Shin Blanca, Larry, and everyone at the final round staff. I know that like we didn't pull any punches when we talked about how Marvel had been ran there, and I think it, like, if you had any apprehension about not going next year, like, it's gone. Like, go ahead, pre-reg, get out there, because this tournament was fantastic, and if next year is even the exact same level, it's a great tournament, and you'd be crazy not to try and make it out there.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park. It was definitely a work in progress. We have to iron out some things. You know, some stuff fell through. But you guys all did a great job just watching from home. I was glad to see them there, even in a rough, you know, capacity, than not be there. You're giving players a chance to speak. You're giving our content creators a chance to speak and stay in the mix. Creates a little bit more, you know, atmosphere, a little bit more communication, and that's what this is what we want. That's what we want to grow. So it's only going to get better. Marcus, you did a great job. Kyle, you did a great job also. You both killed it on commentary. Steve killed it. I was very impressed with everybody's performance. I loved it. This is how things are going to keep going. By the way, we are looking to bring this to other things. It's only going to get better. We're only going to get better. I know we say that all the time, especially about the show. You know, we're always trying to get it better, trying to improve our tech. I hope it looks a little bit better tonight. I hope we sound a little bit better. We had the technical blow-ups the last show. That's a part of doing it for free. We don't get paid. We're all using old hardware. I had a bum monitor blowout, so I was running to Target trying to get a cable last second. You know, Sam's streaming from her old bum laptop. So it's really sick that you guys stick with us, and you know, you continue to be fans, and we want to bring more to you at live events. Just like Marcus said, we want to keep doing more. So more feedback is what we need. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit me up on Facebook. Some people have. Whatever you have to do, get it to us, and we'll tune it a little bit and bring it better next time. So anything else for final round? Otherwise,
shouts to
go ahead.
Not Enough Damage and Static Alpha for teaming with me. We got second at the tournament. It was hella fun.
You guys did good. EX White Girls, right?
EX White Girls. Yeah, I had like a Lady Gaga shirt, and Eddie Moo was repping Taylor Swift. Like, we made a thing about it. First to one Marvel's hilarious. I could let it happen.
Right.
But yeah, shouts to those dudes. And
didn't you have Jury backing you up for?
Oh yeah, we had a mascot. Shouts to Katie Kucha. who's a big friend of Static Alpha's, and like she was over there cosplaying, like cheering for us. So what? We definitely got a buff. Y'all are salty.
I respect that. It was a great tournament to watch, guys. I experienced it as a spectator for the first time in my fighting game career. That sucked. That hurt. It was not great, but the spectator experience was fantastic. Shout outs to Pat for running the team tournament really well. The team tournament felt like a real thing. It wasn't just like thrown together, money in Noel Brown's hand at the last second. It was really well done. I can't say enough about the team tournament. I'd love to see more team events for the FTC. That was my first time I really even saw Ronan Healy was in the team tournament. So I did love that. And final round was great. If you have any doubts about it, don't. Next year, it's going to be in good hands and it's going to run really well. So I would love to talk about South Louisiana. And by talking about South Louisiana, I'm going to hand it to Marcus. Marcus, tell us a little bit about South Louisiana. Tell us about Slam 2017. I'm going to throw up the graphic so you can chit-chat while it's up. Any information you've got coming up on this tournament April 1st?
Yeah, this is a South Louisiana Major. This is going to be their second event that they've had. They had one last year, so they're just trying to make it bigger, better. So they've thrown a bunch of money into multiple games, and Marvel gets a $200 pot bonus. It's being streamed by the 482 guys. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah.
So twitch.tv/level482gaming is the stream. And I've, since living in the South and everything, going to KIT, going to Mississippi tournaments and final round, like, gotten to know those guys, and they're the homies. So definitely, if you can make it out, definitely try and go support them. The tournament is on the 1st in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I think they're going to have a Joey D versus Ramasama exhibition. I think they are Curly Circuit. I think they were one of the first.
Yes, they were one of the first.
Confirmed as that. And then it's being run by Van. I think he's like the main organizer, and I got it with him earlier.
X23 boys.
Yeah, X23 player. I got it with him earlier today, and he said so they're going to have Joey D, Ramasama, J-Dog from Texas, Korean guy from Florida, and we're going to see the triumphant, in my opinion, return of Rubik's. Rubik's will be he's registered to be there as well. So and expect
for anybody who doesn't know, Marcus, because we do have a lot of new Marvel fans in the house. Who's Rubik's? Tell us a little bit about Rubik's.
Rubik's is a Skrull Spencer MODOK player, and he is my favorite Marvel player ever.
You're smiling, bro.
Yeah, like he's my favorite player, but also he's like the sickest player. Like he's like super technical. He plays balloon bomb assist. He just plays anchor MODOK for whatever reason, and he's just a super hype player to watch. Super smart, and it's really fun watching him blow people up.
He's beaten some big names too. He's beaten
Wong in tournament. That year that you went up to CEO. He beat Justin Wong and Flocker.
He's also beaten KBR in tournament at Evo.
Yeah. Rubik's is the best, but he's gonna. I know he's been like doing real life stuff. So he's talked to Terry at Final Round, and he sent a lot of the Texas players that we've grown to appreciate over the years. They're getting back into Marvel this last year. So like Rubik's is getting back into it. Jan Busby. So, like, I know they have their showdown is coming up, I think, as well. So they're getting prepped for that. So this is a good way to see some of the Texas players and some of the lesser-known Southeast Marvel players play. And I think right now they have about 20 or so pre-regged, and they're going to have at-door registration as well. So I'm expecting that to maybe hover closer to about 30 people. And that's not bad for a Louisiana tournament, and it's a $200 pot bonus. And like I said, the players that they have already pre-registered is it's going to be a super fun tournament to watch. So definitely check it out.
Also, shout outs to same weekend Michigan Masters, which is where I'll be in Detroit, Michigan. That will be a $50, I think, or no, $100 pot bonus for Marvel. I'm sure we'll get around 10 to 16. It's a smaller event, but if you guys are running your own events, or if you've got upcoming tournaments, anything like that, wins Marvel, send us your stuff, man. We would love to help you guys get your information out there, get your local scenes mobilized. Maybe some people who don't know that an event's happening in their own backyard, maybe they'll find out. I don't know, but there's no reason not to hit us up.
I have like all through the show. I've been like hitting up people, and I have a little list of locals. But I'll like just ask me again when the show ends, and I'll have a better list on weeklies and stuff.
definitely that. But even like if you have something that like the slide, like even if you have like a slide for your event, and just give it to us, and we can just do a quick shout out. There was so many people that I met at Final Round that lived in Georgia that hadn't been to a Gwinnett Brawl. Or this was like, there was a guy that came up, I think he came up to me, Steve, Persia, and Kyle. He was like, yo, I watched the show, I love it. This is my first fighting game tournament. And it's like, well, one, that's awesome that you watch us. That's also awesome that this is your first tournament. But I'm like, dude, why don't you go to Gwinnett Brawl? You know, like,
it's in your backyard.
You have one of the best resources and like, you know, a good group of guys that you can play with on a weekly basis or, you know, a monthly basis. Like definitely, like we appreciate you coming out, but keep it going. You know, keep playing. So we definitely want to help try to promote some of the local and regional stuff as well. So if you guys have any tournament that even like, you know, one known guy or two known guys is going to be at, then we'd gladly push it for you.
Yeah, anytime. We're trying to always find new ways to connect with you guys. Shout out to everybody who's participating more and more in chat. If you have questions, just post it in the chat. Tweet us at Twitter or at RYANLV. Whatever you want to do. Shout outs to, this is the funniest name I've seen in a minute. Shout outs to Pancake Jamboree, who came in the chat and gave the love to the Kentucky FGC. Good seeing. I don't know who you are. I don't know who that tag is, that face. I'm sure I've seen you at all of our weeklies and monthlies, but that's what I'm talking about. If you want to come on and throw us a question, if you got a question for Ryan, don't hesitate to ask. We want to engage with you guys more and always find new ways. And, of course, if you got events, just as Marcus said, if you got a little slide, if you've got a stream, anything, send it over to us. And
One more thing. I forgot. I got you, Chris. Cycle Shot, iMash Buttons just hit me. I was like, yo, don't forget my event. So and this Saturday at Game Haven in St. Louis, Missouri, the Midwest boys are getting together for a tournament. I think he said it's about a $250 pot bonus. And I think I've seen Airborne potentially is going, and Dual Kevin and Melos. I think those so far are the three people that stand out that are going. But that's going to be a pretty sick event. I'm going to try to make it out there, but no promises because I got real life stuff this weekend that I probably have to do. But yeah, definitely check it out. St. Louis event, and let me see. Maybe you can link the stream in the chat. Like I got to find the link and I'll shoot it to you, KP.
What's that?
I'll try to find the stream link and the URL.
That's
that way
fine.
you can link it in the chat. But definitely check them out too. So
I posted this match, G.
Plenty of Marvel to watch. So make sure to check it out.
So, if we're at that part of the show now, like, don't forget also that the great Tong Lee, he's hosting weeklies in Tampa. So I'm gonna post this match G on the chat, but he's running weeklies from Marvel 3 to grind those points for the curly circuit. And Mexico is running a monthly now called Marvel Road to Legacy. And if I'm not mistaken, like, the current 6th place right now is a Mexican player by the name of Yahel. So don't sleep on Mexico because they're running monthlies now.
Yep.
And they're like crazy in numbers.
They are. They got what, 60 at the last one or something like that?
I think they got 60. Yeah.
So shout outs to them. Shout outs to Philtastic in the chat. He had a question. Are we gonna get any upcoming Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite news on the show? I don't know. That would be cool, wouldn't it? I don't know. We'll just leave it at that. It'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool, dude.
It'd be really cool.
That'd be super cool.
I have insider information.
It'd be really cool if we could. Wow, what if we had the Jonas Insider Information segment for Marvel vs. Capcom?
I told you guys. I told you.
I don't know.
Jonas is combo fiend.
We'll see. 62. So Esteban Wolf in the chat says they had 62. Thanks for coming through. Mexico has been a huge part of the circuit already. Again, shout outs to Slam, who was one of the first ones to opt in. Texas Showdown is going to be on the circuit. We got NCR added to the circuit. We've got tournaments all over that are joining up on the circuit. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. We are tuning in, still accepting feedback and doing work, but very exciting to see that result. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. Only more events. Alpha Attack unfortunately missed the 16 limit, but that's a tough region. So they got the roadmap. That's the thing, is everywhere you go, you have a goal now, and it's not going to take a lot for hopefully to get you guys involved. So thank you to everybody who's committed to the circuit already. Speaking of the circuit, anybody else on Slam or local events? Otherwise, I've got some tips for the modern Marvel player. What do you guys think? You ready to talk about it? Because we got RYANLV in the call, and boy, am I glad he's here. Not really, because I pretty much already gave you the whole thing, man, before the show. But since you're here again, you can give us your thoughts, your your viewpoint on the other side. But what do we mean? What do we mean by the modern Marvel player? What does that mean? This 2017, the game came out in 2011. We live in the modern era, dude. Like, what are you talking about? We've always been modern Marvel players. Not really. PS4 Marvel especially is kind of its own thing. And it's its own thing in that we're kind of in a new old era, I guess. I don't really know how to say it. We've got new people coming in. And they're coming in for a lot of reasons. They're seeing us on someone got a little feedback. They're seeing us on other streams. They're seeing us the Donation Player's Choice. They got a sequel coming out, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. There's a lot of reason to play and watch Marvel vs. Capcom right now. And there's a lot of struggle and a lot of pain involved in finding Marvel players and sometimes finding your YouTubes, finding who you are on Facebook. You've got so many letters in front of your name. You got to think like some of these companies are trying to look at you guys and they don't even know how to read the first half of your name. They don't even know what part is letters and what part is name. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to kick around here a little bit. And I want to start with a couple of questions. Who is looking at you? What are they looking for? Those are the two questions. If you're interested in Marvel in 2017, you need to be asking yourself right now. Who is looking at you? Ryan, since you're on the call, I just want to ask you a question. And we already kind of hashed this out a little bit back and forth. Do you feel like anybody, any company, any important person or anything, do you feel like they might be watching you right now?
Honestly, I don't think so, but I haven't really put that much thought into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess the community really gets to your head when they're like, oh, it's all about Street Fighter V now.
Yeah.
Which that may or may not be true, but hearing that so much, I'm like, oh, I don't even care anymore. I'm playing this game for me and for my friends and all that. I don't really need a sponsorship, or I'm not trying to be esports or anything like that. I'm just having fun playing the game.
Exactly. And that's not wrong. Actually, that's 100% not wrong. And traditional Marvel experience that's right. That's 100% right. We've been a game that has been in limbo. We didn't even know that the franchise had any future at all, until December. So it's been, what, 3 months?
Grassroots was probably the tattoo that every Marvel player had just across their chest.
Dude, everybody's been in the weeds, man. Kyle, you have organized tournaments in your area. I've done it in my area. That's all we've ever been. But something that we need to understand now is that's different. There are people who are interested in Marvel players. There are people who are interested in talented Marvel players. What does that mean? Well, AGE Fnatic was really talented. If you want to see probably the only person who's ever done their sponsor justice, seriously, like if you want to think about, all the people who have ever had a sponsor, Justin Wong, name them all. How many times that they're even potentially on a screen at a tournament? If Justin Wong doesn't win, does he show up on a screen at all? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't show up at all. Fnatic didn't win a lot. In fact, I'm pretty sure he lost like 17 in a row to Angelic every time they ran into pools. He's a guy who did high-profile money matches, big exhibitions, things like that, but never, he won one ECT, I think, but he was never, he didn't have a streak. But AGE sent him everywhere. Why'd they do that? Why would AGE be so cool to send someone who's not winning every tournament all around, but nobody will pay RYANLV? Because every time he was in front of a microphone, he would say, AGE Fanatic, 20% off online. You go to the website, use the promo code. And eventually, he got a little insufferable. Did anybody hate Fnatic for that? By the way, I know some people.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And I knew this was gonna come up, and it's fair. It's fair. Tell me why you didn't like it, Jonas.
It was everywhere. It was saves 20% off on the headsets with the code AGE Fanatic, and he would say it every time in between commentating. If I wanted one, I hated it, and I wanted one.
I know.
You know.
I know. It's awful, and it worked. AGE tweeted about him. They were like, it's working. His code is really active. His viewership built and built and built. He started streaming League of Legends. He was streaming himself playing music. Fnatic is something completely else now. He doesn't. He's done a lot. That's pretty telling. And he's a guy who did it when really it wasn't there a huge incentive to do it. I don't know what AGE gave Fnatic, but he made a great practice out of it. And we can take little pieces of that now. So let's just say hypothetically, an event happened in May. Guys, can we all close our eyes and get into this? Just to say May, pulling months out of my head. May, there was an event, and all for April, you had to get retweets. That's the only way that you get in. Only a certain amount of people are going to get in the whole month of April, and it's based on your Twitter feed. RYANLV, do you win that competition if it starts April 1st? Do you think you slam dunk, retweets only, you kill that competition?
No, hell no.
Hell no.
I have no chance.
Hell no. You have no chance at all. RYANLV, are you possibly the best Marvel player in the business right now?
Yes.
Don't ask him. Don't ask him.
Feel yourself.
You can't.
That's okay.
Feel yourself just this one. Feel yourself just
That's
this
okay.
one. I'll allow it.
If you want to, if you want to. But we can make the argument for you. We do. Every week.
I think I put in the most work.
Yes. That's overwhelmingly
True.
fair. That's overwhelmingly
That
fair.
is such an esports answer.
That's
Such an
that's
esports
the
answer.
most humble brag, though. He's kind of like low-key, like, I'm not going to say I'm the best, but I put in the most work.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's the thing. Nobody can really, like, how do you even counter that? That's like true unblockable.
That's true.
Like, what can you do against that?
That's true. We're gonna say no, you don't. Gotcha,
No,
Ryan. No,
yeah.
you don't.
That's true.
Like at the same time, like Ryan, you have to understand, like you come on the show and just start talking, like not even talking about how you're trying to get sponsorship, just talking about your mentality, and like everyone here is just 100% for you. Like, if you want to play more, like you really should be putting yourself out there. Like, I'm definitely not one to talk about having a social media presence,
Right.
but like if you have the talent, you have the mentality, you put the effort in, like you definitely go and rewatch this segment
all right,
a couple of times.
And before anybody says that this is just
No.
directed at Ryan, this is at a lot of the new school players. Like, I will say, I think of the new school players that we've been talking about lately, like we'll say the Super Noon, Jabril, Cosmos, Dual Kevin, RYANLV, Joey D. Priest. I feel like Joey D is the one guy that has like a social media presence, and then I feel like a lot of the other guys. Well, and I guess Cosmos, but like I don't think negativity is the right way of going about it.
No.
And like Jabril never talks about himself. He's super humble as well. The only time we ever hear about Jabril is when Kyle P talks about Jabril.
Yeah.
And like you never hear about Priest. You never like Dual Kevin. He doesn't really like. I mean, he'll pop in the stream chat and everything, but like he doesn't really have a social media presence either. So this isn't just directed at Ryan. I feel like that's one of my only complaint, and I feel like I said to you earlier, I think gameplay is the most important thing. That should be the majority of the talk. But I do feel like you could get a little bit more eyes on you if you I don't know how to
That
social media.
tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Like, somebody said in the stream
I-
chat. Somebody said in the stream chat, like, I didn't even know. I'd never heard Ryan's voice until
No.
he said
No.
until you talked in the beginning.
That's true.
Well-
and it doesn't. Ryan, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah,
Oh.
admittedly, I do like to keep a low profile. I guess I'm not ready yet to like be fully out there. I try to stay focused on what I'm doing, because if I feel like if I go out there too much and post all the time, then I get too involved in other people instead of trying to focus on me.
Yeah.
And by that I just mean my play.
You're right.
So
that is totally true. That is totally true. I feel like we, as in, we're not trying to lecture anyone, but I feel like it's like a bar, right? And this not only applies to Marvel, and we're not ones to actually like lecture anyone because none of us actually have a sponsor. But it's like a little
Hey,
bar.
we got KIT boys in the house.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right.
I did at one point. Trick Penny Arcade into giving me a full sponsorship.
Oh
Like,
damn!
That happened. That I was sponsored, paid by.
I remember that.
But I feel like it's like a meter.
Dude.
And on the top of the meter, it's like sponsored, right? So it's like a little bar for skill and a little bar for charisma. So you can fill it up with just your skill, right?
Right.
But you can also fill it with just charisma. I don't wanna like call anyone out.
Like we even said earlier, like I think Coach Steve is a good example of how important a social media presence can be for
dude.
you.
He's all over now.
It's like I don't want, like, once again, I don't want to blow anyone up. This is not like me trying to like be mean or anything, but K-Brad wasn't that hot at the start of Street Fighter V. Nope. He was not hot, but he represented EG very, very well, and he got that contract once again. You know, he's still hot right now, and everybody that's like following Street Fighter knows that K-Brad is putting in work. And he makes
even people that weren't following the tournament, anyone that was on Twitter after the pop off, like.
And you don't have to go viral. Like, you don't have to have the stone cold pop off, you know, at sea.
The way I see it right now, Marvel has been we've been left behind, right? We have been left behind.
Oh yeah.
And right now we're like transitioning. We have a new game, and we have people looking at our scene when we haven't had people looking at our scene for the past 4 years. I would say since like Evo 2014 or something. That's when people like, yo, like Marvel, there's no patch. Ultra came out. Let's focus on Street Fighter, right? So we've all been playing just for the love of the game, right? But there's a new age coming. We have a new game, and I assure you, people are like, sponsors are looking for the next big thing.
Yes.
Sponsors are looking to lock someone, and they're gonna lock them very fast. You know, like if you look at the trend from other communities, Punk got picked up so fast, you know.
Because he was literally like the personality in a sea of vanilla ice cream.
Now, don't get me wrong. I hella respect Ryan for keeping a low profile. Like, I feel like not a lot of people do that. Like, especially after winning so many tournaments, your regular Joe would be like with the ego so high, like they'd be so annoying. But this guy has been like, he's been humble through and through, right?
Right.
But this is more of a message not only to him, but I don't know, Dual Kevin, Joey D, Ray. It's already sponsored.
Throw Punisher in that. We'll throw Punisher in that too.
Punisher.
But like, we just want people with positive attitudes about the game to be promoted to the next game. Because like,
right now,
I know Jonas was raging. He was triggered in the chat after final round when a specific player did a rant video about PlayStation 4 Marvel.
Because this is the thing. This is the thing. Right now, people are gonna follow. How do I say this without being in that? Okay, this is the thing. The widespread FGC, they're not looking into every tournament, but it's easier for them to follow social media, right? So when you got your the pillar of Marvel, the undisputed, in my opinion, best player ever of Marvel, taking the community and dragging it across the floor. That's not a good look for our community.
No, it's not. It is
I
not.
feel like it's time for all the new top players that have been like stepping it up since after KBI won Evo. Because let's be honest, after he won Evo, everybody got mad and got really good, right? All of you guys that like stepped it up insanely, it's your turn, guys. It's your turn to be the next big thing. So just because people don't follow Marvel, just because people just don't care or didn't care, everybody knows about the Capcom guy that's always in the stream. They're watching,
Yeah.
Just don't be quiet, guys. That's all I have to say.
It doesn't have to be like a common misconception when I tell people that is like, I like to keep a low profile. I don't want to be in someone's face or anything like that. You don't have to. That's the great news about this. You don't have to always be the guy who runs out there, grabs the microphone, and is like, F champ, you and me, and you don't have to cut wrestling promos. That's not how this has to be. You can. Here's a quick tip for you Marvel players. If you're going to an event, tweet about it. That's it. You don't have to be a face, a heel, a good guy, bad guy, in anyone's face or anything. If you're going to find around, tweet about it. Tweet about it.
Honestly, I'm so I feel like right when we first got our like big whiff of esports, the amount of like acting and personalities that people just suddenly came out with, like just support the community, play the games, support the people that support the game. Like I don't know. There's so much grandstanding, and I think that's fine if that's your honest personality, but don't fake it. Just be yourself. Put yourself out there.
That's definitely how I feel about Street Fighter V now. It's really making me. It's changing my view of the FGC now. Every time like a well-known and respected figure in the FGC is up there talking about Street Fighter V or talking about anything, I feel like they're just reading from a teleprompter.
Yep, and that's true. And that's a lot of that is about no preparedness, and it's because it's like, what do you do when you're thrust into that situation? You haven't developed yourself. You kind of can't, repeat these canned, remarks or whatever. But look at someone like Snake Eyes. Dude did not like make a name for himself by going out and grabbing the mic and being a dick or anything. Like he didn't have to be that person. He was just chill. He was cool.
And he became like a fan favorite in Street Fighter 4. He was like one of the hypest people to watch, and I never heard him talk.
Thing is, and anyone, it's funny that you say that. Anyone that has actually talked to Snake Eyes, like I can see, like he's a lot like RYANLV is a lot like Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is very humble too. He's just super chill, right?
And that's what matters.
Exactly. Like even now, Ryan, even though you're just saying like you don't want to blow up, just for the answer that you gave me earlier, I'm gonna be honest. I hate your team. I hate Phoenix, but right now I'm rooting for you because you're a hella chill guy,
Yeah.
And that's what people are looking for.
Relatable. And whenever like whenever I say let's do a modern Marvel player tip segment, I'm not trying to say that anybody has to go out there and be someone else or be something else. There are people like Punisher who do work really hard. They stream, they do YouTube, they do tag. He's helping with, doing content. He did the fireball durability stuff. He's a guy who's multifaceted, and that's kind of, the niche that he's grown into. Not everybody has to be player, commentator, content creator, all these things. It's okay to just be a player, but you don't have to be afraid of being yourself.
Yeah, just share yourself. We want you to share.
You did that. You did that tonight. I'm not talking to you, but I am talking to you now, Ryan. Like you came over and you are a fantastic guest. You've had fantastic responses. You're great live at events. You have great tournament etiquette. You just have to share that, at a larger capacity, and then it doesn't have to feel like you're trying. It doesn't feel like, oh, dude, I forgot to load up my Twitter 4 times a week and call out somebody or something. No, fuck that. You don't need to do that. That's definitely not what you need to do. You need to be a positive, out there, just role model that you really kind of are, and people are looking for that, man. People are really looking for that.
And can I go ahead and say real quick that, Ryan, you said, like, at the beginning of the segment that you don't think people are looking at you. How can you say that when you have an article written about you on ESPN?
That's word.
Oh, my God.
Bro, come on.
I know, and
For real,
but that's you see, like we see that because we are content people.
Yeah.
We know the trends. You know, I went to PSX. I was there. I talked to the Twitch guys. I talked to the Capcom guys. You know, I get a whiff of what what they expect out of the scene. That's why we try to do our best to build the bridge. You know, for you guys. But definitely, yeah, you're on ESPN, man. That's crazy. My dad saw you.
I actually forgot about that, to be honest.
See, and it's so easy to do that when you're so focused on just being the best player you can be, and that's undoubtedly that's the path we all live as competitors, just constantly trying to better ourselves too. But you also neglect to see how it's so narrow of a view. You neglect to see some of the opportunities that could just take everything further. You know what I mean?
Right.
Think about that for yourself. It's really in your hand. You specifically, yeah, I'm talking straight to you because I don't think anybody's in the position where you're at, where you're winning pretty much every major at a game that people are really starting to kind of understand yo, this is going to be an investment, and you aren't sponsored or anything. Nobody has it. If you put yourself out there just a little bit and let them know this, hey, I win all the time. What's up?
I did. I legitimately emailed Penny Arcade every tournament I went to. I recorded the results. I emailed it to him. I said, this is how my tournaments have stacked all year long. I literally went tournament to tournament, budgeted how much plane tickets cost, how much venue registration was, how much I eat and sleep on. I grinded out every single penny and lined them up next to each other, and I convinced the runner of PAX to cut me a check for, money. Not a fake t-shirt sponsor. They really did. They sent me 2 full boxes full of merch. What do I even do with that? And I was just Kinder Party in 2013. So, I can't imagine, and that's something that is not obviously, obvious. You don't think that you are of wealth, and you can reach out to a company and say, hey, here's my, here's what I need for the next 8 months. Here's what it would look like. Here's what I can give for you. You got to be, here's some easy tips. If you tomorrow say tomorrow Marvel is going to blow up and it's going to be the biggest game ever tomorrow, could whoever is doing the Twitch reviews, whoever's reviewing over at Red Bull, could they find me tomorrow? Could they find me on Twitter? Could they find me on Facebook? And then when they found me, what would they learn about me? Would they learn about how many people I can access? Would they learn about what kind of person I would be on a potential product? Would they learn about who my friends are, or maybe the kind of crowd I keep? What do they learn about you? The answer might be nothing. I mean, for a lot of us, it's really and you see, you don't have to sacrifice being RYANLV to do more of that. You don't have to sacrifice being chill, being low key. Tweet hey, fun around this weekend. Can't wait to see everybody. Retweet if you're going, and then you get people retweet and say, hey, I talked to RYANLV on Twitter. That's sick.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing has been a learning experience. I mean, a year ago, I was too afraid to travel. I would just say West Coast, and even Combo Breaker last year was a good step for me. And now I'm gonna do a lot more traveling this year. So you have start doing the social media thing, and
you have all of you can even find. Took the words right out of my mouth, Fetus. Find someone who can help you with your social media part-time, dude. I'll do it. I don't care. If you want me to ghost tweet for you every now and then, fine. I run 7 different Twitter accounts, man. Seriously.
Yo, I'm good at that too. What's your favorite restaurant? And we'll get them to sponsor you.
What's that? It's Waffle House? All right.
As long as it's yellow and they don't cost much, Marcus can help you out. But no, seriously, it doesn't take as much involvement as people always think. There's a few certain questions that you can isolate, and once it doesn't seem like such a I've got to become Phil was saying earlier in the chat, I got to become the next F champ, or I got to become the next Justin, the hero of Marvel. I got to be the next Mike Ross. How do I do that? It doesn't just happen overnight, man. You just go out and then Kinder Party retweets you a few times, Marvel Live retweets you a few times, SBK, Jonas. We pass you around, you build a following, people run into you at a live event, maybe you're not in the room watching TV, you're just chilling, in the group, and everybody's like, dang, RYANLV is winning tournaments, he plays an ugly team, and I like hanging around him. that's weird, you know, like that's important.
Yeah.
I mean, we really don't have a lot of people like that, and it's not just you. It's, you know, Super Noon. I got to hang out with you at PSX, dude. You're a super cool guy. You got a lot of energy. You got a lot going for you. Dual Kevin, he's doing decent. He's doing better. He's doing much better. Joey D, knocking it out of the park. Shout out to my boy Joey. He puts his money in. You know, he puts pop bonuses in at tournaments. He flies players out under his tag. You know, he is a good tournament competitor. He's on Facebook, on Twitter. So shout outs to him. Shout outs to everybody who's putting in the work, because it's not easy. It's not easy, but we just want to make you guys know that there are opportunities in the immediate future that you're going to be really interested in, but you've got to mobilize yourself. I'm talking to all the Marvel people at large. It doesn't matter if you're a player. Doesn't matter if you make YouTube videos. Doesn't matter if you're a commentator. Get your reels together. Make your content obvious. Find good channels. If your Twitter handle is, and I know this isn't the case, Brian, but if your Twitter handle was XX42 RYANLV9,
Digital Devil 4K.
it's not good, dude. It's not good. So RYANLV __. That's better.
I like low tier Ryan, actually.
I like low tier Ryan.
I like low tier Ryan.
No, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I said not him. That's what I'm saying, not him. Low tier Ryan's fine. But if your name, because there are players now who have weird just tags, you know? I Heart Justice. I couldn't find you forever, dude. I tried really hard to find you on Twitter. It was really hard. Here's my cat in the back, by the way. But
Darius has a weird Twitter.
Huh?
Darius Datvip, his is like a
Dapto9.
It's like,
Dapto9.
what, dude? Like, who are you? So just those kinds of questions. You know, if you're serious about it, and it doesn't have to just be, yeah, Punisher, dude. Yours was really hard to find. I remember when you were our guest, and I was like, I give up. But you know,
Okay, I get it, KP. I'll drop the 9s and the X at the end of my thing. My bad.
just Merkel __, man. You know what I'm saying? No, but you know, it doesn't matter if you have to throw some underscores on at the end, or you know, you don't have to do a whole lot. It doesn't have to be a big exhaustive rework. You don't have to think of the world's cleverest, you know, at low tier Ryan, which is pretty good. It's really funny. And you know, just do a little bit for yourself. This time is now. Don't feel like you just have to play for the Marvel players. You know, don't feel like you just have to play for yourself or your friends or anything like that. If you want to, that's fine. But if you want to also be more, time's now. So
It's going to be sick to see these new players now in Infinite, you know, starting off on the same foot that the known players are going to be at, you know, potentially having sponsors and things like that. That's what I'm looking forward to. Like, you know, going into Ultimate, or not Ultimate, even Vanilla Marvel, it was the Marvel 2 players that everybody was checking for. And then I think all the new current batch of players are going to be checked for when Infinite comes out. So we just want you guys to go into Infinite on the right foot and just have a strong showing at the end of this game, so that way people are looking your way come Infinite.
hit the ground running. Don't stumble out the gate, for sure.
Another big part of it is just like going to your local streams and playing.
Yep.
Right? Because we all found out about Moons and Ray. We all watch an LBC, you know? And I know about Iron God because of was in my fights, you know?
Yep.
So at least with this curly circuit, that's like picking up again, you know? That's like a thing again. So shout outs to streamers that also like make that possible. But yeah, I want to see more. I'm excited to see what the future will bring for this community, you know?
Yeah, and we are so far away, guys. Like, the Marvel community, from like where modern esports, when Infinite comes out, it's just gonna happen, guys. Like, literally, it's gonna happen. This game is gonna go to the moon. Where we are as a modern competitive fighting game with Marvel 3 to where that's gonna be in Infinite, even with the circuit, even with the Evo Player's Choice, even with the Danger Room, we are so far away from the Twitter voting and, like, you know, the social media involvement, the VIP events, like all that crap. That's going to come. It's just going to happen whether you like it or not. You should like it because it's going to be good, and especially if it's done right, it's going to do really well. So we are far from that. Don't feel like you have to, you know, if you haven't done it now, it's over. Now is the time. Now.
Yeah, I mean that's why we're bringing it up now. Like this, you didn't miss the boat.
No.
The boat's loading. Get on it.
Yeah.
Come join the next generation of the Marvel community. Like,
yeah, Infinite's gonna be nuts, guys. Okay, so does anybody even know what Dead by Daylight is?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you know what that game is, Jonas?
Yeah.
I play that game every day. I love Dead by Daylight, and I love a streamer who is from Europe who plays Dead by Daylight. He's going to play Infinite. There's a Dead by Daylight European streamer who talks about Infinite on his stream now. I mean,
We're done.
The reach. For
We're
this
done.
game,
We're done before we
dude,
even start.
the reach for this game is going to be crazy. Like, this is literally nuts.
I know a bunch of people here locally. Like, I'm the only Marvel player, but a lot of people that are interested in like watching the game, but they don't play it. They're like, "Yo, when Infinite comes out, like, it's too far gone in 3. I'm not gonna get good at Ultimate, so there's no point in me even playing. But when Infinite comes out, I'm gonna get it day one, and I'm gonna be playing. So I guarantee every scene has at least 3 players like that will badmouth Marvel 3, you know, till the cows come home. But they're gonna be day one on Infinite.
I think like once again, I don't want to like get anyone mad, but I think like Street Fighter V, the launch, has been so sour on everyone that we're just excited for something new. You know, we just want that next big thing that's gonna like get the FGC back up and running again, even though it already is. But I'm talking more like on a gameplay and like hype perspective. You know,
I think the bad launch for Street Fighter V makes me anything but excited for the launch of Infinite.
You're right.
no, that's the thing. That's the thing.
I
don't think. That's the thing. I don't think they're gonna make the same mistake twice.
Well, it's possible.
Well,
I will say,
you know,
It's possible, but yo, they've already released 2 good games
yeah.
since Street Fighter V.
Yeah. I was
Resident
with you,
Evil-
Ryan. I was with you until Resident Evil came out, and then
And-
I'm
yo,
like,
and
this
Mo-
is a different Capcom.
you can't
Monster Hunter.
really compare Resident Evil to a fighting game. Though.
No, but
Well,
That's
Here's
kind of
it.
stretching
I got
it a little
you.
bit, I think.
here's this soft reboot of the franchise. Marvel is hands-on. They're making a Marvel vs. Capcom Marvel comic. This is really serious. Like, this is the amount of resources that are going into this game and the attention. And dude, they reshot the end of Rogue One because they weren't happy with it. You think Marvel's gonna let this game go on the shelves as a piece of crap? Like,
No.
this is really serious.
I know from the Marvel side, yeah, but I really don't think that Capcom is gonna risk screwing it up again. You know, I really don't think.
The thing is, though, is that we do know for a fact that they're spending less time making Infinite than they did making Street Fighter V.
Yeah, and that's true.
Infinite was pretty much announced and coming out the same year.
But
Street Fighter V was in development longer.
the timeline and the way that Street Fighter kind of changed hands, and it was, you know, it's different. It's very different. I mean, even the competitive future of this game is going to be very different than what I'm sure a lot of people expect. So it's going to be, I mean, I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid as well. I mean, I was concerned. That's why I started the circuit. That's why I started. Well, I didn't start it, but, you know, I reached out to people and said, hey, let's make this happen. Same thing with Danger Room. You know, Angelic's doing that. I wanted to get involved with that. This is why we try to do Marvel Live and why we're bringing, you know, interviews to you guys. We want to miss as many of the road bumps that Street Fighter V had on the competitive side as possible by maturing our community, by preparing our community the best that we can with educational resources, you know, being able to go out and compete in a circuit, doing things like that. We are trying to equip the competitive end the best we can. Whether that ends up being a lot, we'll find out. The game's on its way. We don't know when, but this is the hand we've been dealt. So
I feel like a lot of it really does have to do with the community also. I mean, a lot of the competitive community was on board, but as soon as any negative press, I feel like that's just pop culture. If there's anything negative that can be said about something, that is what you're going to see. And I think another part to why you're going to be seeing a lot of people looking for champions. Like, they want people that are going to be that positive face for their IPs, for the esports just in general. That's like, I don't think some of you realize how huge esports is going to get. It seems so silly, like 10 years ago, I don't know, but it's going to be ridiculous, especially coming up in the next couple of years.
it's true. It's
So-
legitimately true.
Just, I mean, please, anyone that's listening to this 8 months in the future, don't get wrapped up in the negativity. I guarantee there's going to be some issue with the release, something you're not going to like about the game, but just try and see the forest for the trees, and remember that like it's got development, it's got characters, it's gonna have new characters. So if your character's not in it, it's gonna be there probably. Like, just have a little bit of faith in the community and what everyone is trying to accomplish, and just have a little faith. That's all you got to have at this point.
I've got a lot of faith. There's concern. Ryan's right. I had the same concerns. Hopefully, as a community, we can help alleviate that as best we can. But for now, let's focus on Marvel 3, and it's doing really well. There's a lot left for this year. A lot of great exhibitions are going to be coming up, special events, things you guys are going to really like. We're gonna keep pushing Marvel 3. There's no reason why we shouldn't. It's still a great, healthy game. That is our bread and butter. And the show is called Marvel Live, so as long as there's Marvel being played, we've got Marvel to talk about. And Infinite is going to be its own beast. We can prepare as best we can, but at some point it's going to be out of our hands. I want to thank Ryan, man. I really want to thank you for coming on tonight. It was a real treat, dude. I mean, as far as guests go, that was really something else. And I'm glad you came on.
Thanks for making Phoenix fun to watch.
Yeah, really.
I'm so tired of seeing crappy Phoenixes, especially like F-Champ's Phoenix was whack. And
yeah,
he was hands down the best Phoenix right now.
He was struggling really hard. He was doing like random supers just back to back to back. It was like really weird. So thank you, Ryan, for coming on today.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for letting me get my voice heard. Thanks
Dude,
for the advice with the social media. I mean, I learned a lot even being here. So
dude,
I'm taking a lot into consideration for sure.
Killer, man. Anytime you need help from us, reach out to us, reach out to me, whatever. Any shout outs you want to give for the end of the night as we sign off here?
Well, shout outs to you guys, of course. Shout outs to the people watching. My Vegas scene is watching, I'm sure. And I'm sure they have a lot to say to me after this. But,
okay.
So just shout outs to everyone that's helped me practice and get to where I am now.
What's the next event we can see you at, man?
West Coast Warzone.
West Coast Warzone. So we'll see you then. Seif, any shout outs for the evening, man? Anybody you want to sign off to? No? You're not talking, dude. Okay, we'll see you later. It was nice having Seif on the podcast, everybody.
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot I had push to talk.
Good job.
Push to talk, man. Who are you signing off for tonight?
I guess just once again, shouts to my boys, EX White Girls. We're gonna make a comeback at another point of the tournament. But shouts to all the family over in ATL. It was great seeing you like the past 2 weekends. And shout outs to Sam, who was not here.
Yes.
We miss her. And I had a lot of fun getting back on the mic and commentating with her at Final Round. Even though it's for a little bit, but I'm definitely trying to do that more. It's a lot of fun now. So yay. But just keep staying godlike, and shout outs to the smart person, whoever it is out there, that's gonna sponsor this kid to like mess everybody up in Marvel this year. For real. Like, get on that.
Amen. Amen. Well, we've given you all the pieces, Ryan, so we'll see them fall into place. Merkel, any shout outs you want to give for the evening?
Yeah, shout outs to everyone that came up and either played matches with me or tried to play matches with me at Final Round. And if I didn't get matches with you, come see me at the next tournament we're at. I definitely want to sit down and grind with anyone and everyone. I don't know, just shout outs to the community, holding everything down. I had a great time at Final Round. I finally that was my first time I ever got to commentate with Yipes, and that was hands down the coolest thing I've done in the community so far. So thanks, Yipes, for backing me. I know it was a little dry, but I'm working on it and I'll get there. And yeah, just everyone keep playing, keep prepping the game.
Keep
and yeah, anyone that needs a signal boost for Marvel at all, if it's Marvel related, hit all of us. Like, tag all of us and everything, and we will do everything we can to get you out there.
Absolutely. Get that info out to us. We will blow you up. Marcus, anyone you want to say goodnight to this evening?
I'm pretty much identical as Seif. Shout outs to the Georgia family. It's been too long, and it was sick hanging out with Seif again.
Yeah.
And my homie Derek, and it was cool hanging out with Persia and being able to commentate with her, and actually just really getting back on the mic. I haven't commentated in a while, and that was super fun. And then it was also fun doing the Marvel Live pre-show with Seif.
Yo.
Shout outs to Ryan, like opening my eyes when I interviewed him, and it was like, yo, we need to have this kid on the show. So shout outs to him, and then shout outs to everybody that came up to us and was like, yo, I love the show, blah blah this, and it's really cool to like go to events and people recognize you and then come up to you and just, like want to talk Marvel with you. Like I live for that stuff. So it's super fun doing that. And then really just shout outs to Final Round. Actually, this actually was my favorite Final Round that I've been to. Like I've gone to the last 6, and this is, I mean, I have like a special nostalgia for the very first Final Round because it was my first major, but this last Final Round was by far my favorite major. So shout outs to Larry for allowing the GB guys and 645 and myself and Kyle help out. So yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks for a successful Final Round. Thanks for doing your work, Marcus. I appreciate it, man. Jonas,
just real quick, hang on.
Okay.
Sorry, Jonas. I forgot a shout out. So I'm gonna say huge shout out to Rambam. That's at RRAM.
You stole it. I was gonna give my shout outs to Rambam.
I
was gonna shout out Rambam.
Jonas is his partner. You just took it from Jonas.
No, he's my boy.
I'm not gonna give my shout outs to Rambam anymore because of you. Rambam, your shout out is in the trash.
Go follow him on Twitter. Go follow him on YouTube. Make sure he's getting all your love because he's putting out hands down the best Marvel tutorial videos, like literally out right now. So if you want to see more, go let him know.
Shout outs to Rambam. He is the man. Jonas, anybody else you want to give a shout out? You can shout outs to me. Okay.
Yeah, who else do you want to shout out? I'll shout them out for you.
I got some more. Shout outs to the Taskmaster players putting in work at Final Round. And shout outs to Rubik's. And shout outs to any of Jonas' shout outs.
Shout outs to all of Jonas' shout outs. Shout outs to the Marvel Live crew. Shout outs to Persia, who couldn't be with us tonight. She really wanted to be on this episode with Ryan and talk to him because she didn't believe you were real either. We never did. Now we know you're.
It's just because you're not in New York, dude. It's just because you're not in New York. It's like she doesn't believe you that it's real.
Absolutely. Shoutouts to her. Shoutouts to Darren at Air Dash Club. I saw you slide in the chat at the last minute there, but it's good to see you, man. And shoutouts to everybody who keeps watching. When you can catch us. The next show is going to be in 2 weeks on April 4th. Ooh, okay. So I'll be coming right back from Michigan Masters. We'll be closing after Slam. Marcus, you're holding up your finger. You got someone you want to talk to, bud?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, too, I got the Marvelous Essential stuff up now on the YouTube page. So we got some pool matches. I think I got like 20 matches recorded. So check that out for some pool matches that were not streamed. You guys can check that out. And shout out to KP's dog.
Yeah, we definitely had some technical issues at Final Round. This is the first time we tried to sit down and record PS4s, and it definitely kind of bit us. So we'll be more prepared to expect, of course, a lot more coverage the next time Marcus and I are someplace and get a chance to record matches.
All right. Shout outs one more time to the spray bottle. I got to go discipline my dog and then my cat and then go to bed. So thanks to everybody who tuned in tonight. We ran over a little bit long, but hey, we had Ryan on here for 2 hours, so as far as I'm concerned, we gave y'all a gift. And thank y'all for tuning in. For everybody who's on YouTube, thanks for watching us. I'm going to include all the links we mentioned in the description of this video. And please follow Team Spooky. Don't be afraid to donate some bits to Spooky, to Team Spooky. Arturo is working hard for you guys. Don't be afraid to follow, subscribe. Otherwise, we will see you in 2 weeks, April 4th. Everybody have a good night.
5% no force.
Peace, y'all.
5% no